Hello and welcome to a new video with my mid-engine Volvo 240. This is the first video since my break-in in the garage here where some idiots attacked this car, I would say. They stole a lot of pieces for this gearbox and other stuff here. Short news is that there is no good news. Not one single part of what they took have been found or recovered. There will be an update video pretty soon here with some more information about the break-in and the parts. I'm still working on the car, even if the motivation is not always the best since the break-in. But yeah, this car will be on the drag strip someday again. And I have to say huge thanks to all the nice comments you gave me, all the super thanks on the YouTube and all of you guys buying merch from busbil.com. I had some new merch released here for just this car and to try to build this car up again. And also tips about who these guys could be that broke in here to my garage. I have given that to the police, but as far as I know, there's no success in getting those yet. But still have hope for that. I still have hope. And I have some video material from before the break-in actually. I'm building the engine for this car, repair it and build a stronger engine and build some better cylinder heads. So back to before the break-in when I went away with my cylinder heads to Arvika in Sweden. It is time for the cylinder heads to go on a trip, and we are going for some professional help with the cylinder heads, and it's Overboost Racing in Arvika, Värmland. Alright, so now the cylinder heads is here in Arvika at Overboost Racing. Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you. And you're going to help me with these cylinder heads?
Yes, that's right. We're going to make them live again.
Yes, that's good. Some new components in them. And as I can see, this is a nice engine shop. You have some really nice components. You have machines for cylinder heads. And we can see down here, it's we got some CNC machines as well. So yeah, really nice workshop you got here. And you're building engines full-time here?
I'm building engines full-time, yes. And sometimes I take some works on cars if I have times, but mostly cylinder heads and engines, yes.
And you have done it for many years?
This is my 13th year,
13th year, yeah.
As a living, and before I just do it for hobby use. So
yeah.
My learning curve is in hobby state.
Okay, yeah.
And the full-time use is kind of professional. And now it's evolved to a professional level.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've seen you. You have been working, I think, mainly with or mostly with Volvos, and you had the drag racing methanol Volvo.
I had
many years ago, and
I've been drag racing these engines some years, and I have a pretty good track record with these engines.
Yeah.
The Volvo Red Block is commonly used here in Sweden.
Good engine, and this is the 16 valve.
This is the 16 valve, yeah. And this is the 800 horsepower build that I showed on
these ones.
YouTube.
Yeah, and you got a YouTube channel.
Yes,
by the way.
I got my own channel showing a little bit how I'm building and what's the important stuff to think of when you're building by yourself and kind of.
Yeah, and you go in quite into details how these.
Maybe I do, because for me this is what I'm doing. So maybe that's very into detail.
Yep. Yeah, that's great. You have some Volvo engines and some different kind of tools, and I see you have cylinder heads cut.
I have a cut through
so you can see really where you can remove material and. Do the porting. You're doing a lot of hand porting by
a lot of it is hand ported, yeah.
Yep.
I have some CNC cylinder heads, CNC 16 valves and Volvo 530 heads and 531 heads. But the last finishing touch is by hand.
Yep.
So the CNC is helping me a lot with the hard grinding stuff, because there are a lot of materials that has to be removed.
Yeah, and we have a bit here discussed my cylinder heads here for the Lambo V10, and as you can see, these are kind of CNC ported, and it's also a little bit different here because it was made for direct injection, and I think I'm gonna remove that, and I think the port is could be quite a bit different for an engine that is direct injected or port injected.
Yeah.
So there is some consideration there as well. So we'll see what gonna happen with these ones. But as I have told in an earlier episode, this is not gonna be the maximum power right now. We're gonna repair them with some new components and see if we can do some maybe small improvements for this first stage of this engine.
I think we're going to flow test them before and after the work, and see if we are gaining some flow with just some easy valve seat job, and maybe I'm not sure what we're going to do with intake port channels, but maybe we leave them.
Maybe possible to do some more angles in
at least 3 or 4 angled valve seat would be nice, and we have to see if we can
original these seats here. You can see this shiny piece here where the valve seals. It's one angle, and then it's one more, the black, I think. So it's 2 angles just in this.
It looks like a regular normal angle job from a manufacturer. We are putting a little more love into this, and make at least 3 or 4 valves angled valves.
Yeah,
seat.
then it becomes like more like a radius, and that makes
kind
better
of
flow.
a radius. Yeah.
Yeah. A bit better flow.
The air wants some more angles to lean on when it's entering the combustion chamber.
Yeah.
So it would be very nice if we can achieve that on these heads.
Yep.
I hope it will make some power gains for you.
Yeah. Flow a little bit easier and make it a little bit easier for the turbo system of the car.
A little bit harder for the gearbox.
Yeah.
More torque.
Yeah. Hopefully that one, that one is rebuilt for stronger. So hopefully that one will cope with the power, but something gonna break. That's of course in these kind of race cars, but hopefully now with the new super tech valves that
you can adjust it with the throttle leveler.
Maybe with the computer first. When you're sitting inside the car and you race, it's hard to not put full throttle.
I see that.
And some port matching of these CNC lower intakes to the cylinder heads as well. Yes, and we have like the form tool cutter here that cuts in the seats, and you have some different of these tools here for different angles, or
it's for this form tool is for exhaust. It's a different kind of profile, and this one is for the intake. This is also a different kind of profile with different width of the seating angle, the 45 degree. So they are different, and I always do it like that. Always do 2 different angles on intake and exhaust.
Okay.
So.
And it's by experience from
experience and some physical values, because you don't want the intake to backflow, and you don't want exhaust to flow exhaust into the cylinder. So you have to take control over the flow in the cylinder with the valve seat.
And you have some more. You're cutting valves in these ones, or grinding valves?
It's a valve grinder.
Yep.
I can refurbish the 45 degrees and even make some back cuts with this. So this is a nice tool.
Now my valves are brand new. These ones, I don't know if
they have back
you
cuts.
Have seen them. I don't think what you call a back cut. They're made like that. If you want to do something with them, or if they are good. Yeah, so here is the SuperTech valve. Looks like it's only one angle there, and here is one with an back cut, you call it?
Back cut, yeah, 30-degree back cut.
30 degrees, so it's kind of more like in radius there than a sharper edge. Do you think we should do that on these valves, or should we keep them as is?
That's a hard question, because
you have to think about it.
I have to think about it. Because if you want to run the direct injection system, you need to have the fumble that this gives you. Otherwise, we love to do this back cut because it's a very cheap, easy mod to do, and it's going to perform a lot better. Yeah. Every cylinder head is performing better with this back cut, so there would be lovely to have that.
Yeah, we'll see. And you also have, with all these modifications and with the cylinder heads you've done, you got some data behind it also, because you have a flow bench.
I have a flow bench,
looking at it's something back
so
here.
I know that the back cut is a very important feature in this head, so I think we are going to go with the back cut, because I don't think that's a problem with the fumble in the head. So we try back cut. Yeah.
And also we have here my really damaged cylinder head. This is not the one we're gonna make for the engine here right now, but Tommy will look on this and see if we can weld this up to make it a spare cylinder head. But coming back to that later on, I think. You're gonna give it a try, yeah, because these are not so easy to come by and they're expensive, so could be worth to put some hours in them. So
I think so, because I managed to weld up a lot more broken heads than this one, so this looks pretty good.
You have seen worse?
Oh yeah, much worse.
Oh, okay.
You can damage the whole combustion chamber, and everything is in total trash, and managed to do it like a working engine again.
One seat is totally gone there, and the threads and also some in. We have to it's steel in the other cylinders here as well. So
we have to change all the valve seats in this cylinder, because it's going to be so much heat when we're welding it. So everything is going to be new in this cylinder. And we have to see if we can clear the other cylinders, this small damage.
Yeah, or if they needed some welding here as well. We'll see when you clean it up a bit. And
it isn't actually that bad, but it's an expensive engine also.
Yeah, it is.
We have to make it nice.
Yes, and you have some more engines and cylinder heads, and you got the tool there for the removing like the springs.
Yeah, this is a spring remover or spring tensioner, or what you want to call it.
Yep.
This is a Trego variant, and it's a very good tool to have. It's pneumatic and very good tool.
Yeah, compared to I'm using one of those old tools you can buy,
and
you wrench it. Of course, that's okay when you're just doing it
that's
once every 5 years or something. I do a cylinder head, something like that, but you do it.
It works fine, but this one is a little bit of a favorite of mine.
Yes,
here we have the flow bench.
Yes,
this is an extremely good tool to have.
Yeah,
and here we have an electronic device that see all the flows in a pitot tube or flow pipe, or what should you call it, a flow meter.
Yes.
So this is it's a very fast flow bench to use. Normally there are a lot of fiddling with water pipes and scales and something like that. So this is a very, it only takes some minutes to do a flow on a cylinder head. So you can test and you can flow, and you can test and you can flow when you're leveling the head pretty in a fast pace. Otherwise it's going to take a manually bench, as I know it, is around 10 to 20 minutes every flow. and I can do a flow here in 3 minutes.
You could just adjust the valve lift very quick
I don't,
and get the value in.
The good thing with this is that I don't be so carried away when I'm porting. I can port a little bit and I can test it. And if I know myself right, if there was a hassle to do the flowing, I would do too much work because I want to save me some time. So this is a very good tool.
And you got it into the computer as well?
And I save all the tests and
the data in there. So
I can show a test from at least 10 years ago in this, I think. So I have all the tests saved.
And it is many Volvos, but you have done other like Porsches and like race car and,
race cars, rallycross, Ferraris. I've done several Porsche actually. And this is this is my personal engine, my drag race engine.
Mercedes 6-cylinder. You also be working with the Mercedes 12-cylinder engines that you have in one of your other project cars. That is quite special.
So this is actually one half of the engine, Mercedes M120 V12 engine.
Okay.
It's 2 MO4s.
Okay, so the cylinder heads is looking
kind of. It's mirrored on the V12 engine. But they are based on the M104 engine.
Yeah, and here you have one tester for the valve springs.
This is a valve spring tester, yes.
Yeah, I did one quick test with an like a personal way in just an earlier episode to just if they were harder and how much, but just tested one. But here you can test all of them and see if there's any problem and adjust the pressure so it's correct on all of them in an engine. All is within the tolerance or same.
I will test the old valve springs that you have, and I will test the new ones, and we are going to see the difference between the old and the news, and we can test them at seat height, and we can test them at here are the seated height. And here is the full lift height. So we can test them in two different heights. Very easy.
Very quick. You can
just use this.
One. Oh, that was a smart one.
And you can test a whole bunch of the springs in fast. So that's a good tool to have.
Intercomp. So that's I've seen they make motorsport equipment like for weighing race cars and stuff like that. So,
it's
a good company.
Pretty expensive part. So.
Yeah, many tools are expensive, and some like the flow bench. You built it yourself?
The flow bench is actually not that very expensive. It's depending on your own fantasy.
But you have put some hours to get it working.
Yeah, of course. This is the fourth iteration or something like that. It's I've tested out some pleniums under here and some man hours. Yeah, for sure. The
basic idea is quite simple. Actually, with
it's a very simple machine. You are running a pressure, and it's looking at the pressure in the cylinder, and it's looking at the flow in the flow pipe, flow meter, and between those two numbers, it can calculate the flow in the head. And you also want to have some beefy motors in the flow bench. You can press the cylinder head to the max limit. So you can listen to the cylinder head and hear if there are some whistling noises or if the cylinder head is fumbling a lot on different heights.
Okay, you told me when we talked earlier with the cylinder head that some things in the cylinder head could make it, some whistling sound or sound like that, but that is something you don't want to have really?
You don't want to let the air flowing in the cylinders wasting energy to make noise and stuff like that. So you want a clean, nice sounding cylinder intake port. And can be very hard to achieve that on some designs, but you have to work against that goal at least.
Yeah.
So you need quite a nice port.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember a little bit of that from like airplane testing when it could be sounds from some places, and that is energy and could make vibrations, and that could fatigue part, and if you could modify it so it sounded less, that is better.
Yeah, because you need to concentrate the energy to flow, not to make heat or sound.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of I wouldn't say that's a big problem in a cylinder, but if sound bad in this kind of test environment, if it's sound horrible here, it's definitely a problem in the car. Yeah. So we need to get it as quiet as possible in the flow bench.
One tricky thing is that the flow bench numbers is static, but the airflow actually in these engines, it's dynamic because of the valves is open and closing all the time. So it is pulses into here all the time, ram effect, and it's a lot of things going into cylinder heads, and we discussed with different cutter angles here also for the valves, depending on if it's turbo or not, depending on this. But we can talk more about that later on, or if you can see it on Overboost Racing's YouTube channel, what's going on. And it's also different with the turbo engine, and very important on the highly tuned NA engines there. So when you get the engines right with that, that's a really good thing. We are downstairs here in the workshop, and here is more of the machining area. We got an CNC mill here, an older one, Victor, but it's working good for your boring engine blocks in this one.
Boring engine blocks and some kind of manufacturing with CNC heads, and it's like an Swish army knife, this kind of machine. It can do a little bit of everything. It's an old 3-axis Victor.
Yeah, this is an old one. You converted this one. It's made for programs with the tape, but now you can from Fusion 360 put some G codes into this one as well. So it's fully CNC controlled one.
Actually, the set height is pretty good on this one, so I can bore a block and lift it with a boring bar and do all operations without fiddling with the Z-axis.
And also see here you have a dyno. Overboost Racing, it says, because you have built these yourself.
Yes, this is my own design. Yeah, it can compensate for camber like
if you have IRS individual rear suspension, and it cambers down. So
actually working pretty good, and the dampers are taking up a lot of force from let's say you don't have a perfectly straight drive shaft in a car. So the hubs is vibrating a little bit, and the dampers is holding that force pretty good.
Okay, two-wheel drive one. Some adapters here on the wall, I guess, for
yes, that was the easiest way to make the hubs to fit most of the cars, is to buy completed wheel spacers for different bolt patterns.
Yep.
I made the CNC plasma first, and then I made the hub dyno.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a long way for dyno.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah,
but
that's cool. I've seen some other homemade dynos that are do not have this enclosure and look much more amateur-like. But this one looking very professional, I would say.
It's a different kind of style on this one, but it was the way I come up with when I was thinking about dynos, some drag racing cars that have
with the short rear axles.
You need to really get the strut into the the car.
So you get this under the fenders there. So. Yeah. What is the dyno record? highest
dyno
horsepower
record
in this one?
isn't really that high. I think 800 horsepower or something
800,
like
okay.
that. Yeah, so it's not that high on this one right now.
Okay, what kind of car?
A Volvo, of course.
Yeah.
It was a drift car,
Okay.
actually, with an 8-valve head.
Aha,
That we
with
made,
a red block there.
It's a red block, yeah. Of course.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. And this is the computers for it, I guess.
Yeah,
And control electronics for it, maybe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sport
Seems-
devices, SP6 is the control data acquisition system, and Finalizing brakes, it's 2,500 Newton meters brakes in each hub, so totally braking force of 5,000 Newton meters. So it's not the biggest dyno with today's measurements, but it takes a lot to overpower this, actually.
Yep.
5,000 Newton meters is more than the most cars have.
Yes, it is. It is.
On the rear axle, I
On
would
the
say.
rear axle
Yeah.
after the rear differential.
Yeah.
So, yep. Output on that one. You got the NTK lambda.
Yeah, you noticed that?
Yeah, it's. I see it because I know. Usually, many serious dynos, they're using the NTK lambdas because they live much longer, especially if running like race gas and in the environment of a dyno, the Bosch sensors usually die pretty quickly, but the NTK is holding up
longer. Actually, very true, because I have eaten a lot of Bosch sensors on this one.
Yeah, and down in this area, you have some workshop area working on cars, but mostly you told me you want to work with engines. Sometimes it's coming car with an engine, but it's mostly coming engine blocks and heads to this workshop, I guess.
The best is to have the engine in the engine stand.
Yep.
But I'm also making a lot of, not a lot, but I'm making some exhaust and intake manifolds and something like that. So I need the car on place. So
some welding and fabrication.
Yeah, I really need to have some place to have a car. So
yeah,
that's a good thing to have.
Absolutely. I see some cleaning area, and we have some more machines inside here. And
the cleaner.
Yeah, okay. And the cleaner, another employee here. Yeah. Is that a garage robot?
Yeah, it
cleaner?
is.
Oh,
Yeah.
Never seen that one.
It's a garage wife.
Is it good?
Yeah, actually, it's very good. Yeah, it's very stupid. So it's not running after a pattern, but it's
yeah, it can take some metal.
All the chips and all the debris around the milling station is eating like breakfast. So it's a very good machine.
Yeah, and you got a manual mill here.
Yes.
And we got an CNC lathe here. It's an, I think, Swedish made, Storebro, Sweden. So it's also a bit of an older one. But it's a couple of different tools and Siemens control. And this one is also, you can put in programs from Fusion
yeah.
And you're also using Fusion 360 CAM module or some other program?
Yes, I'm using that.
You can simulate on this one as well?
I can simulate, I can see roughly what think it's going to do. But the simulation in Fusion is that good, so if it's okay in that simulation, it's okay.
Yeah, you can trust it.
Actually.
Pretty much,
It's pretty good.
And then we got an... looking like a booth here for porting cylinder heads. Is
that's true?
What we see here? Yeah. So here it's where the magic happens. Where the horsepower is developed in the cylinder heads here.
We are not in the clean area right now.
No, not in the clean area, but a lot of different tools here.
A lot of years of collecting different tools for different parts of porting, and it's hard to find good tools for this.
And I got an like an welding area here.
Yeah, some fabrication, welding area, grinding area, and rough times here.
Yeah, when you fabricate something, so yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
I think it's 430 amps AC/DC TIG, so that's
Yeah, nice. What is that one?
yeah, it's a lot of firepower in that one.
Yes.
We can weld almost anything.
Yes, and also in this company workshop, you're working alone here?
I'm working alone, yeah.
Yeah.
It's me and myself.
Yes. Nice old manual lathe here. Storebro, Swedish made this one as well. Good one. And we got an balancing machine here. You're balancing
Crankshaft and clutch plates and everything that's rotate in the engine.
Yeah.
So it's a Turner balancer, and it's actually a very good one. So I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, that's good. So you are building complete engines here from the beginning, and it's mostly performance engines, or is it normal?
Sometimes I just overhaul an original engine, but mostly performance engines. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they are rebuilt for another purpose that they were manufacturing for. So
Okay, great. I think we're gonna leave you here, and I'm gonna leave my cylinder heads, and you're gonna see what you can do to them. If you can find any better flow and make them good and reliable for my mid-engine Volvo for next year. So
yeah.
thank you very much for this garage visit.
Yeah, thank you.
Here, workshop
Nice.
visit. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.